After the mess of an adaptation from Dean and 2 separate adaptations of Unlimited Blade Works, we finally have a Heaven's Feel anime. The process of adapting Heaven's Feel is a trial in and of itself, considering that it's very dependent on the first 2 routes. It is incomprehensible unless you have gone through Fate and Unlimited Blade Works, and this movie is not an exception to that. The first Heaven's Feel movie is practically impenetrable from an outsider's perspective. It assumes that you have already played the visual novel, or at least watched Unlimited Blade Works. So, on its own, Heaven's Feel doesn't stand up very well. That's it, end of review. It sucks. Or at least, it sucks for filthy secondaries. Because lucky for me, I'm not a filthy scum-sucking casual that just watched the anime. If you've been swallowing all the Fate Stay Night shit that's been shoved down our throats for the past few years, then Heaven's Feel will deliver a fantastic film. Of course, being very dependent on other entries in the franchise is not necessarily a bad thing. Heaven's Feel is not a retelling, it is a conclusion. The events already animated in Unlimited Blade Works are brushed aside in a matter of seconds in this movie because it knows that you just want to get that out of the way so that you can get to the real meat of the movie. Needless to say, as somebody who really enjoys the original Fate Stay Night visual novel and is kind of disgusted with how much this franchise has whored itself out, Heaven's Feel is a breath of fresh air. It's something that Fate fans have wanted for a while, and now that we have it, it's actually pretty fucking good. Being Heaven's Feel, this ties in with Fate Zero more heavily than previous adaptations. A lot of the base assumptions of Fate Zero are major spoilers of Heaven's Feel. So if you're an anime-only pleb who prefers Fate Zero to Unlimited Blade Works, Heaven's Feel might feel like a better successor for you. And there's definitely a bit of Fate Zero fan service put in here. This is also regarded as the most well-written route, and once you get past a slump in the middle, it's clear to see why. In the original visual novel, this route subverted everything that the previous 2 built up, and completely changes Shiro's character arc. And already we're starting to see this within the very first movie. But the transfer from visual novel to movie is not entirely perfect. The pacing of the original route had some very slow parts, which have been cut down dramatically here. Unfortunately, this means that the pacing is weird at parts. Characters in the movie will occasionally jump from place to place for seemingly no reason. Now that's not to say that the whole movie is horribly paced. Since this is the first in a trilogy, it has more breathing room for character development than if they tried to cram everything into one movie. And I appreciate that they took their time to build up Shiro's and Sakura's relationship and made it more believable. But there's other points where the film will just cut to Rin and Shiro in a different location so that the plot can happen. There's also a few things, such as Saber's memories of the previous Grail War, that are explained in other routes of the visual novel, but not here, because there's no time to explain it. You see, Heaven's Feel doesn't have plot holes by mistake, it has them by design, because it's cutting out the fluff. This may be fine for people who are already into Fate, but on its own, it makes no sense. The film doesn't have the luxury of seemingly endless time that a visual novel does, and it's very obvious at points. But now, back to the good stuff. The man of the hour, the character that steals the show, True Assassin, has the best scenes by far in this whole movie. His fight with Lancer is probably the high point of the whole film. Every second he was on screen was great. More importantly, we finally got this scene animated. As well as Shiro's wet dream, which was a complete surprise to me in the theater. By the way, the theater that I went to see it in was like this tiny hipster theater. The whole thing was completely sold out, and I had to like fucking stretch to see above people's heads. It should go without saying that the animation in this is excellent. There's only one scene that I can think of specifically that looked like it lacked a few frames, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was fixed by the time Blu-rays came out. While the CGI cars are noticeable, they're integrated very well with the characters. We have come a long way since Golgo 13. As someone that's dug themselves into the Fate Stay hole, Heaven's Feel was fantastic. If I was an outsider, I would probably be completely confused and hate it. But this isn't trying to be a standalone movie. This is the grand conclusion to everything that we've had before it. And if the next 2 movies are on par with this one, we will have a fantastic trilogy on our hands. If you're into Fate Stay Night already, and there's a theater near you that's playing this, definitely go and see it. If you're a filthy casual who's already tired of seeing Fate Stay Night everywhere, this probably isn't going to change your mind. I'm definitely going to check out out the next 2 movies when they come out. Hopefully I can get a ticket in time because I barely scraped through. The day after I bought tickets for this movie, the event was sold out. And if you want to see some more reviews of Japanese movies or anime, check out my channel, hit the subscribe button, don't forget to ring that bell, and I guess that'll be it. I don't know how to fucking do this.